specifically the Nassau Coliseum. We are coming at you live from the JetBlue Overlook at the Coliseum for a special broadcast of Beyond the Game. I am Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me, Eric Fischetti and Joe Ardita. Guys, you pumped?
I'm very pumped.
You know,
very
this is the first time I've actually been in the Coliseum when it's been renovated, and I gotta say, I'm actually very impressed.
They did a good job with it.
And you know why? It kind of looks the same, which is very nostalgic.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just, like a facelift.
They did give it a facelift. They widened the hallways, which is nice. They added some more bathrooms, which is nice.
Oh, that's about time, too.
The number to call, if you have something on your mind, is 516-572-7440. And we got to start with football. According to Ralph Vacchiano of SNY, the Jets are considering signing Teddy Bridgewater. This is despite the fact that he hasn't started a game in the NFL in 2 years. Joe, do you want him?
Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't really know if I want him simply because of the fact that he hasn't played football in 2 years. And that's a risky move for the Jets. And I think right now what they need at the quarterback position is stability. And taking a risk, especially when you don't really have developed talent offensively around mostly all of the positions, it's not really a good look. And now that I heard Kirk Cousins might be signing with the Vikings, then that might be a big possibility.
He's got an offer on the table, that's for sure.
But I'm sure he has one from the Jets also.
Yeah, but the Vikings don't have a quarterback right now.
Neither do the Jets.
Yeah, I know, but they got rid of all three of them.
Hang on, though. I feel like he's going to sign with the Vikings because the Vikings on roster have more of a chance to be a contender than the Jets, and I feel like at this stage in his career, Kirk Cousins wants to win. But that being said, taking him out of the picture for the Jets quarterback situation is definitely going to be interesting to see what they do in the future.
Well, I mean, Kirk Cousins has a choice to make. Does he want to go for the money, i.e. the Jets, or does he want to win now? The Vikings. The Vikings were one win away from going to the Super Bowl and honestly getting home field advantage, even if they were the away team. So, yeah, doesn't that blow your mind?
I know, it's so weird.
Doesn't it blow your mind? And besides, the Patriots cheated the system because they, because that always happens. But again, both teams are in a very interesting spot. The Jets have the money to spend, but the Vikings just basically got rid of all three of their quarterbacks.
The Vikings have the money to spend, too. Don't make it seem like they're...
I get it. But the Jets, I feel like, have more to spend than Minnesota does.
Oh, they certainly do. The Jets have the second most cap space in the NFL at over $90 million.
And that's the thing that's going to go in the Jets' favor. But the thing that's going to go in the Vikings' favor is the win now. They got better receivers than the Jets. They honestly do.
Oh, of course they do.
I mean, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph, they got... potentially they could bring back McKinnon, even though I do think he's going to the Giants. But that's a different story for a different day.
The rumor I heard is that Cousins is going to prioritize winning over money. And if that's the case, he's going to go to the Vikings. Now, with that being said, the Jets have a very intriguing weapon, and that is $90 million and the 6th overall pick. So if you can sell Cousins on, we're going to build a championship roster around you with this $90 million, with the high draft picks that the Jets have. It's possible he could still go to the Jets. He is my number one option for the Jets.
Oh, of course.
And I know there are people scared about the contract. Honestly, those people don't know anything about the economics of football. The reality is, I sound like a broken record, $90 million. Yes, Kirk Cousins is going to get about $30 million a year. But for the first year, he's only going to be getting about, $15, $16 million?
If that, yeah.
If that. The Jets can afford it, and it won't kill them in terms of putting a great roster around him. They can still sign Ryan Jensen. They can still sign Jimmy Graham. They can still sign Mitch Unrein. They can still sign Malcolm Butler. And they will still have over $30 million left. It's not hard if you're McCagnon to sell him on that.
Right.
That's the thing that's going to go in the Jets' favor. I agree with you because money does talk all the time. But it just goes back to exactly what you said earlier. He probably prioritizes winning. He's at this point in his career where, honestly, he needs to win. Does he deserve this contract right now? That's up for discussion.
No,
but it is his time.
He definitely doesn't. But Garoppolo didn't deserve $27.5 million a year.
I agree, but he did turn the Niners around, and I felt like it was a move they needed to make at that time.
I agree with you, and the move that the Jets need to make is getting Kirk Cousins. He is the best quarterback available.
Well, I think that's really the problem. Cousins getting elite money when he's good, but he's not exactly elite.
But Garoppolo falls in that same basket, though.
Right. I'm just saying that can be attributed to the lack of talent at the quarterback position across the board in the NFL.
Oh, of course.
You know
I
what I mean?
agree
Like,
with
there's
that.
really like 10 good quarterbacks, if you even say, if that, you know.
I wouldn't be that
So every
harsh.
team is going to be bouncing on any quarterback that's available that has any sort of credibility whatsoever. And Kirk Cousins, you know, he's been to the playoffs when he's gotten there. Hasn't been so good, but you can win with him. We've said this before.
I mean, we live in a world where the Browns were willing to give up a second-round pick for A.J. McCarron and are going to give him a huge contract despite no track record whatsoever.
He played in one playoff game.
Yeah, played in one
against
playoff
the
game.
Steelers and still lost.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Kirk Cousins doesn't have a playoff win under his belt, but you can still win with him. He's still a good enough quarterback.
Oh, no, he's a great quarterback to build around. Well, especially that. Like, that's the thing that you can put under discussion. You can put him on the Jets where you could basically build around him, give him some receivers, like Allen Robinson might not get tagged by the Jaguars.
Can I be honest with you?
What's
I'm not
that?
crazy about Allen Robinson.
I think he's a talent, but I think he's a high-risk, high-reward kind of player.
He's very high risk. He's just coming back from a big injury, and my boy Blake Bortles didn't make it any better.
Yeah, I know. That Blake Bortles.
Hitting him on the ankle. No, do you remember that? When he was hurt?
I do remember that. But considering just going back to Minnesota really quick, it seems like the premier destination for him because you can offer him money, and you can offer him winning potentially a championship because obviously they got Rudolph, they got Stephon Diggs, and and Adam Thielen. Excuse me. Thank you, Dom, for reminding me. But
what did Dominic just text
No,
you?
he said, "You idiot! You forgot about Thielen."
Wait a minute, hold on. That's the anthem in the background. Hold on. Everyone stand.
Is that?
Nope. All right, very good. Of course, we are coming at you live from the Nassau Coliseum, and that was just a sound check for their 7 o'clock game, Long Island Nets versus the Westchester Knicks. But regardless if it was a sound check or not, I am going to stand up and respect the national anthem. That I will not stand up for. That scared me.
I can't even tell what song that is, but at least you know it's starting to get lively, you know?
Yeah, I love it. Listen, this is awesome. I'm loving this. I really am.
I also real quick, I like how the Coliseum has incorporated a lot of local Long Island businesses, like Umberto's Pizzeria over there, who I used to work for, you know, shameless plug. But
and Vincent's, too.
Yeah, and, you know, they both have really, really good pizza, and there's other couple of businesses I've seen that kind of promotes, you know, the best of what Long Island has to offer, so I think that's something that not many people know about that's really cool.
They did a very good job with the Nassau Coliseum.
Definitely.
Yes, they did.
I will say that. So, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL.com, the Giants will move Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie to safety. According to Pro Football Focus, last year at cornerback, he had a 77.2 overall grade. Eric, what do you think of him changing positions?
You know, it's funny. When I first heard about that move, at first I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And for good reason, because I don't want to just give Eli Apple the starting cornerback job when he honestly hasn't proved anything. I get it, he's a young player, but he's got issues. He's got attitude issues, and last year didn't really help.
I think he's going to be gone, to be honest with you.
I think so too, but now this just opens up a need.
Yeah.
Because now if you're
But you've still got Ross Cockrell.
assuming, because he is a free agent.
Yeah, I think the Giants will bring him back.
I wouldn't be upset if they brought him back, but this just opens up a need for me because obviously Betcher's new system is a 3-4, which could help. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie still is a ball hawk. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie can still play at a high level, but now this just opens up a need for the Giants at the cornerback position. And you know what? It just gives you more flexibility to move around. It gives you more opportunities to try something. I personally think they might go after Kyle Fuller.
That's possible.
I can see it. But in just terms of DRC moving to free safety, he's got no competition. Darian Thompson is not that good.
No, he stinks.
Darian Thompson is not that good. I liked him at first, but he just fell off a cliff for me. He had injury concerns, and for good reason, too. He played hard. I'll give him that. He plays hard, but he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But let's be real, people. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie has no competition at free safety, so he'll get the starting job. So now that I had time to digest the move, I don't mind it. I really don't mind the move.
Okay, that's a fair point. I'm not crazy about it just because he was so good at cornerback last year, and you're opening up a need when you really don't need to at starting cornerback. And I know you had a need at starting free safety. I totally get it. But to transition him over to a position that he's never played before, this would concern me as a Giant fan.
I totally understand it, because when you're a corner, you just got to worry about one side of the field, which is the field that you're on. When you're in free safety, you basically got to look everywhere.
You need a lot more of situational awareness.
Right, but I think he can do it. He's been around enough. He's played long enough in the league where I feel like that he can adjust to free safety. Guarantee you, it's not going to be pretty right away, but this is a situation where I feel like, especially in the preseason, Shermer's going to play him at the bulk of free safety, because you know how normally the starters play for like a quarter, maybe a half. He might play for 3/4 at free safety.
Okay.
You know, just to get him used to the position. I'm not at first I wasn't crazy about it. I'm still not crazy about it, even though I said I don't mind it, but it's just something to basically bulk down on the defense, which is a good defense, and I truly do think that last year was a fluke.
I agree with you. The Giant defense obviously has nowhere to go but up. It's the understatement of the year. I'm not crazy about DRC transitioning over, and, you know, I'm a big DRC fan. I wanted him on the Jets. I remember when he went to the Giants, John Idzik had him in the room, and he couldn't sign him, because of course he could.
John Idzik, man, he ran the franchise into the freaking ground.
Man, that is a bad omen right there. Yeah. According to Elliot Shore Parks of NJ.com, the Giants are interested in Patrick Robinson. According to Pro Football Focus, last year for the Eagles, he had an 89.8 overall grade. Eric, do you want him?
You know, if I had the choice, why not at this point? Because
he'll take over for DRC when he moves to safety.
You know what? Exactly. That's the point. Because it opens a position of need. And to be honest, you know how you said how you would love to take Malcolm Butler away from the Patriots?
You want to take Robinson away from the Eagles? This is
the exact same thing. Because the Eagles' defense, especially in the secondary, if Patrick Robinson leaves, he was basically the cornerstone of that defense during the playoffs. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the Eagles bad if he leaves. And you know what? How sweet would it be to go to basically your arch rival? You know? And again, this opens up a position of need at cornerback. I would love Patrick Robinson on the Giants. I think he would fit very well, especially in Betcher's system.
I'm a big Patrick Robinson fan. There was a time when I wanted him on the Jets. Now, not so much. I want Malcolm Butler. I'll let the Giants have him. I think this would be a really good get for the Giants. And Eric, you hit the nail on the head.
It's stealing a position of need.
Stealing him away from the Eagles.
Oh,
obviously,
yeah,
it's a position of need, but to steal him away from your division rival, team won the Super Bowl last year.
Perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, match made in heaven. 100%.
Honestly.
You're listening to Beyond the Game on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, coming at you live from the Nassau Coliseum. We are live twice a week, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 3 p.m. I am Jacob Valk, sitting across from me, Eric Fischetti and Joe Ardita. And let's broaden our football horizons. The Rams traded Robert Quinn and a 6th-round pick this year to the Dolphins for a 4th and a 6th-round pick this year. According to Pro Football Focus, last year he had a 58.1 overall grade. Who do you think won the trade?
Honestly, I think the Dolphins won this trade. They got the player, and honestly, he's a very good player. But to me, this was kind of strange how they kind of swapped 6th-round picks.
Yeah, I thought that really was just counterintuitive.
That just threw me off. So basically, you just got an earlier 6th-round pick and a 4th-rounder. So basically, you just moved up in the 6th round. Granted, that's good, but, you know, it's a 6th-rounder. Granted, anything can happen. You can find
Tom
a gem.
Brady.
Exactly. You can find a gem anywhere. But to me,
Quincy Nunley, Elijah McGuire.
Exactly. You can keep going.